Triple H produces WrestleMania entrances. Behind the scenes, WWE just pulled back the curtain, and what they showed us might be the most important 7 minutes of footage they've ever released. Because while millions of fans were losing their minds in the stands at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Triple H was working behind the scenes like a man possessed, meticulously crafting every single entrance you witnessed at WrestleMania 42. And now that the footage is out, the wrestling world is divided. Some people are calling this the greatest proof that Paul Levesque is an absolute genius. Others are furious because while Triple H was pouring his creative energy into elaborate entrances and chatting with Joe Jonas about concert tours, WWE was quietly firing legends in the background. So before you hit that like button, I need you to ask yourself, is Triple H's obsession with the spectacle of WrestleMania a sign of visionary leadership, or is it proof that WWE has its priorities completely backwards? Stay with me, because this is about to get very real, very fast. Let's start from the beginning. WWE dropped this near 7-minute behind-the-scenes video on YouTube, and it has already pulled in over 70,000 views. But here's what's wild: the video itself was almost immediately overshadowed by the outrage in the comments. Not because the content was bad, actually, it was fascinating. The video begins with rehearsal footage from day 1 of WrestleMania, and we're talking genuine behind-the-curtain access, the kind of content WWE usually locks away for their Netflix docu-series WWE Unreal Wrestling Incorporated. And Triple H is everywhere in this footage. He is not sitting in a luxury suite somewhere barking orders through an earpiece. This man is down in the trenches, headset on, clipboard mentality, walking through every single entrance beat by beat. And if you're a wrestling fan who grew up watching the King of Kings spit water and swing a sledgehammer at WrestleMania, watching him transform into this level of creative producer is genuinely awe-inspiring. Trivia time: drop your answer in the comments. Triple H had some legendary WrestleMania entrances of his own as a performer. Which Triple H WrestleMania entrance do you consider the greatest of all time? Was it the medieval king throne? Was it the Terminator moment at WrestleMania 31? Let me know below. Now let's talk specifics, because the details in this footage are extraordinary. Day 1 rehearsals captured the Las Vegas Mass Choir rehearsing the Star-Spangled Banner, and the energy was already electric even without a crowd in the building. Wigguming Triple H is there, watching, adjusting, making sure every single element hits perfectly. And that attention to detail matters because WrestleMania Vegas wasn't just a wrestling show, it was a full-on entertainment spectacle, and Triple H knew that. Then we get to one of the most talked about entrances of the whole weekend: Becky Lynch's entrance with the Wonder Years performing live. Now, Lynch's entrance actually suffered a missed cue during the Wonder Years live performance, exposing what appeared to be a lip-sync issue that fans quickly picked up on. Athlon Sports: and that's interesting, isn't it, because Triple H rehearsed this. The footage shows him working through the logistics of this entrance. And yet on the night, something still went wrong. This is what happens when you're juggling the production scale of a Hollywood blockbuster. Not everything goes to plan, no matter how many times you rehearse. But here's the thing that gets me. Despite the entrance issue, Becky Lynch went out there and defeated Aj Lee to win back the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Athlon Sports: so even when the smoke machine malfunctions, even when the band misses a cue, the wrestlers still go out and deliver. Give credit where it's due. Comment section question: do you think live music entrances at WrestleMania are worth the risk of something going wrong? Live on air, yes or no? Tell me in the comments. Let's debate this. Now, Aj Lee's entrance, and this one genuinely gave me chills watching the behind-the-scenes footage. Aj Lee walked down the aisle with a group of children as part of her entrance, and Triple H was involved in the coordination of this emotional, powerful moment. Wigguming: think about what this means. Aj Lee hadn't been on a WrestleMania stage in over a decade, over 11 years, and Triple H didn't just hand her a pyro package and send her out. He worked with her team to craft something personal, something meaningful. That group of children, that symbolism. Aj Lee walked down the WrestleMania aisle for the first time in 11 years. TV Insider, and the entrance was designed to honor that journey. That is a man who understands storytelling. That is a man who respects his roster. And that is a massive contrast to the Vince McMahon era, where returning legends were often just thrown out there with minimal thought. But then, and this is where things get complicated, we get to Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's entrance featured her new song Bite Me, and the behind-the-scenes footage shows Triple H overseeing the rehearsal of this moment. Wigguming: and look, Liv delivered. Morgan defeated Stephanie Baker to win the Women's World Championship Yahoo Sports that night, which is a massive deal. But here's my honest opinion: Liv Morgan is being positioned as a top star. She's winning championships on the grandest stage. She has a custom entrance song, and half the wrestling fan base still isn't fully sold. Is that a booking problem, a character problem, or is it proof that no matter how great the entrance is, if the storytelling leading up to it isn't tight, the crowd reaction will never be what you want it to be? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Liv Morgan a legitimate top-tier WWE star, or is she being overpushed? I want to hear from you. Now let's talk about one of the most entertaining moments in this entire behind-the-scenes video. There's a scene in the footage where Joe Jonas and Triple H are just casually chatting about the Jonas Brothers concert tours and their upcoming Las Vegas residency at the MGM Grand. Cage side seats, and listen, I love this, because it shows that Triple H isn't just a wrestling guy anymore. He's operating at a level where he's rubbing shoulders with global pop stars and treating them like creative collaborators. Joe Jonas performed the national anthem on night 2 of WrestleMania 42, and he even sat ringside for the festivities after his performance. TV Insider: that's the kind of crossover energy that elevates WWE's mainstream appeal. But here's a question for the Wrestling Zone 1 community: which celebrity national anthem performance at WrestleMania hit hardest for you, Joe Jonas this year, or someone from a previous Mania? Put your answer below. The behind-the-scenes footage also includes a look at Danhausen's entrance, complete with the Minahausen's Rey Mysterio's jump pod, and a Barthélemy entrance rehearsal. Cage side seats, and that a Barthélemy segment is critical, because a Barthélemy didn't just have a great entrance at WrestleMania 42, he had a career-defining night. A Barthélemy defeated Brock Lesnar in what appeared to be Lesnar's retirement match, with Femi dominating early before Lesnar delivered an F5, only for Femi to come back with a chokeslam and beat Lesnar with a monstrous powerbomb called the Fall from Grace. It was a true passing of the torch, as an emotional Lesnar sat in the ring, removing his gloves and boots. TV Insider: and knowing that Triple H personally worked through a Barthélemy entrance rehearsal, knowing that the chief content officer himself was making sure that this young star walked through that curtain looking like an absolute king, that matters. That's investment. That's Triple H saying, this man is the future, and the future starts right now. The Raw after WrestleMania opened with a Barthélemy to a massive ovation. He simply stated the ruler has arrived, posed for the crowd, and left. Wikipedia: that's star power. And Triple H's fingerprints are all over it. Trivia question for the comments: a Barthélemy defeated Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, but Brock Lesnar once ended the most legendary WrestleMania streak in history. Whose streak was it? And at what WrestleMania? First person to get it right in the comments wins the respect of the whole Wrestling Zone 1 community. Now here's where I have to be honest with you, and this is the part that might make some of you uncomfortable. The behind-the-scenes video drew over 70,000 views on YouTube, but it was almost immediately overshadowed by responses on social media offering support for Kairi Sane. Continuing backlash, WWE received for releasing Sane along with several others, with fans even cheering for the former WWE star on Raw the Monday night after WrestleMania. Wrestling Incorporated: let that sink in. Triple H just produced the most elaborate, star-studded, critically celebrated WrestleMania in years. He crafted incredible entrances for Becky Lynch, Aj Lee, a Barthélemy, Liv Morgan, Rey Mysterio, and more. He collaborated with Joe Jonas. He personally walked Danhausen's miniature army through their blocking. He poured everything into this event, and yet the video showing all of that incredible work was buried under the noise of a roster release that devastated the fanbase. This is the contradiction at the heart of WWE in 2026. Triple H is, without question, one of the most creative and passionate producers in the history of this business. The entrances at WrestleMania 42 were cinematic, they were emotional, they were historic, but at the same time, decisions are being made, roster cuts, talent releases, Kairi Sane gone, that make you wonder if the right hand always knows what the left hand is doing. There was even a brief moment in the footage where Triple H and Centimeter Punk interact backstage, where Triple H thanked Punk for the house. Wargaming, a fun, light-hearted exchange. But that's also the complexity of Triple H's role. He's the creative visionary, and he operates within the machinery of TKO, a corporate structure that makes these brutal business decisions regardless of fan sentiment. Here is the bottom line: Wrestling Zone 1. Triple H producing WrestleMania entrances is not just a behind-the-scenes puff piece. It is a window into a man who genuinely believes that every single superstar who walks through that curtain deserves to feel like a god. And that philosophy, that commitment to spectacle, to emotion, to moment, is why WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas was talked about as one of the best produced events in WWE history. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night. You can produce the most beautiful entrance in WWE history. You can have the lights, the pyro, the live band, the children, the jump pods, the custom music. But if you turn around the next morning and cut the very people who helped build this company's foundation, the Kairi Sanes of the world, then what does any of it actually mean? Triple H is a genius, but even geniuses can't fix everything. And the question WWE needs to answer is this: are you building something that lasts, or are you building something that just looks spectacular from the outside? I want to know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Share this video with a wrestling fan who needs to hear this. And don't forget, Wrestling Zone 1 is the only place where we tell you the truth about WWE, no filter, no corporate spin. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you in the next one.